Welcome back to another PlayStation tournament. This time it's the Madden Summer Scrimmage. As Scott Cole and RG join you once again. This time, RG, we're over in the NFC. We already took care of the AFC bracket a couple weeks ago, and now we get to see some Cowboys, some Bucks, some Falcons, and a little bit of the Bears. But first of all, you love these tournaments because we get to see some new faces, some young, some old, try to make a move to that next step. This is a great place to do it.
Absolutely, Scott. Huge shout out to PlayStation for giving all these competitors an outlet to compete in a variety of different games. And in Madden's case, we've seen it time and time again, Scott. This is a great opportunity, these end-of-year tournaments, for these younger, up-and-coming players, excuse me, to gain momentum, make a name for themselves, and really take that momentum as we get ready for the Madden 23 season. You never know. They might be the next MCS champion, and here's where it may start. So I'm very excited for these guys to get that experience.
They're so young, little sharkies already, swimming around, getting ready for these games. Here's the format. We started off with 16 in the NFC. And we're getting all the way down to just one tonight. These are best of one, single elimination. And we love us some Madden Ultimate Team, RG, especially this time of year. You're going to see a lot of firepower.
Yeah, and it's important that we mention this tournament being a Madden Ultimate Team. So if you see a guy in the Buccaneers uniform and Tom Brady's not under center at quarterback, don't freak out. This is Madden Ultimate Team. These guys are in charge of customizing their rosters, customizing their abilities, so you might see a variety of different players on the field.
All the 4 players you'll see tonight have already locked themselves into the grand final, which is on July 26th. They're going to be representing the NFC. But tonight, you got a chance to double yourself up. Get yourself to $400. Put a little bit in your bank account to be able to move on to that July 26th battle. And I mentioned we started with 16 as we take a look at the bracket here. We had our earlier rounds as we knocked 4 players out. They will not be competing into the grand final next week, but Sharky will take on Jiggy. Knockout will take on Coy. That's once again Sharky representing the Cowboys. Jiggy will be the Buccaneers. Knockout is the Atlanta Falcons. And Coy, those Chicago Bears. I cannot wait, RG.
I can't wait, Scott. And again, these are guys that I have no idea who they really are, so I'm excited that they get to make a name for themselves. And you know what? When you put yourself in a position, Scott, where you're on your radar or my radar in the Madden world, you're doing some things that are right. So let's see if these guys can capitalize on that position.
The Henrys, the Dreenies, they all had to start somewhere. And a great place to start is out at compete.playstation.com. Not only do we have Madden, I'm talking a cornucopia games if you get out there. Compete, it's a great place to go. If you got a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, there's some great tournaments out there that you can jump in and play. We always get those questions like, oh man, I would have signed up for this if I knew it was going to be something like this. Let's get ready for semifinal number 1, RG. We've been talking about Sharky. He's the favorite. He's going to be taking on Jiggy. This might be, whoever can get past this round might be the favorite looking in on the final.
I'm excited about this, Scott. Like I said, I didn't know much about either one of these guys. The guy from the last tournament that you called that won the AFC, Kong, he got on my radar, and I saw him paying homage to Sharky, so now Sharky's on my radar, and I got to learn a little bit about him. So, I'm excited to see if Kong and Sharky, these young guys that have been labbing together, trying to make a name for themselves, can pull through and win this thing and really carry that momentum, into next year. I mean, that's what these PlayStation tournaments are all about, to give these players a chance to experience competitive gaming. And when you're playing matches with something on the line, it's going to be a different kind of atmosphere.
Well, there is little Sharky. We call him Sharky tonight. 16 years old from San Jose. He's a huge Pavin fan when it comes to competitive Madden, but you know why he's called Sharky.
I did ask him, I said, hey, where did the nickname come from? And I'm very glad that I did. It's a great story. He said when he was 6 years old, he was the mascot for his older brother's football team that was a shark. And he said Sharky's just stuck with him ever since he was 16. So 10 years running now, he's been rocking the Sharky swag.
Well, he'll be rocking the Cowboys tonight. He's going to be going up against Jiggy on the other side. He's not 16 years old when you talk about Jiggy. He's 25 years old from Georgia. So we got a little coast-to-coast battle. Both these guys, you can find them out on Twitch.
Yep, and I'll tell you, Scott, I talked to Sharky about the competition because I didn't know much about Jiggy or any of these guys, or a matter of fact, and he said they're all very familiar with each other. They've played each other on the PS4 ladders a numerous number of times, and Sharky says he's won the last 3 against Jiggy, so I'm interested to see if my boy Joseph Pinckney from Kingsland, Georgia, can pull off the upset.
Well, Jiggy, this is his first tournament, so if you can get through this one, a lot of experience under your belt. And you talked about that. Of course, you being a former Madden pro, you get the chance to get some experience. And, of course, you out in the chat, now that you know both our players here in semifinal number 1, you can get out there and vote and tell us who you think's going to win this opening matchup between Sharky, who's the Cowboys once again, Jiggy, representing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So get a chance to vote out there in the Twitch chat. Appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight, wherever you might be. Thanks for making PlayStation tournaments a part of your day. But going back to that earlier comment, RG, you being a former Madden pro, it doesn't matter how big or small the tournament. Getting some wins, getting some confidence, proving that you belong is a big part of making those steps.
We've seen it time and time again, Scott. The guys that can make noise at the end of a season really carry that momentum over to the next season. We've seen it with Clef. Remember, everybody thought Clef was a June goon at first. Now he's one of the best Madden players in the world, spamming buttons. Drini and Joel, I remember you called that, Scott, when they started making noise towards the end of the Madden 17 season. So even Henry. So we see this time and time again where guys go from unknown to really making some noise, and you know what? They carry that over to the next year. And I'll tell you what, as a Madden player, your skill set only lasts a year, right? Madden 22 is going to be done once Madden 23 goes away. So this is the last chance for these guys to kind of profit off of the skill that they developed over the last year. Sure, a lot of it will carry over to Madden 23, but as far as everything you've learned in Madden 22, your game plan, everything you mastered, this is one of your last chances to profit off of that. And as a former player, I was always very aware of those moments, and I always wanted to take advantage of them. So those end-of-year tournaments, they give you a little extra pressure knowing that it could be your last chance to make some bucks with that Madden skill set.
It's interesting, as we're waiting for kickoff here of our opening semifinal, 3 of the 4 players are Raiders fans. Of course, Sharky and Jiggy both being huge Raiders fans. That's why Sharky would love to face Pavin somewhere in the future. He's been kind of the Raiders Madden juggernaut. And then on the other side, Jiggy, he would love to face Skimbo down the road.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Shout out to our admin team for asking these guys, do you follow the MCS? And if so, who's a pro you would aspire to play? And Sharky, I talked to him, Scott. He's a big Pavin fan. He's been following him for a long time. Being a Raiders fan, he has that connection. He saw him win that club championship. And he said Pavin's kind of what's inspired him to start competing a little bit, and he's actually thrilled that these PlayStation tournaments are giving him that chance to compete. He was too young for the MCS. He wasn't sure if he was ready for it, and he said, you know what, this was the exact type of opportunity I needed to kind of throw my hat in the ring and see what type of player I am so I can take that momentum into next year, because he does aspire to be an MCS pro. So shout out to PlayStation for giving Sharky the chance that he needed.
Well, look at these goons already loading up, getting ready to go here between Sharky and Jiggy. I want to correct myself. They're using the Raiders playbooks tonight. So, Sharky, a huge Raiders fan, also using the Raiders playbook, which is a very popular offensive playbook in Madden.
Yeah, PS4, the Raiders playbook is it on offense, and on defense, they're going to be running that 4-6 defense. Every competitor that we're going to see tonight is in that 4-6 defense. So it's a very popular playbook, Scott. Raiders offense, 4-6 defense. If you need some playbooks to check out, if you're playing Madden on the PS4 and looking for something to experiment with. I hope you're not experimenting this late into the Madden 22 season. I'll say
Hey,
that.
we just got a couple weeks left. Madden 23 right around the corner. And, of course, all these players that you see tonight will be in our grand final on July 26th as the NFC and the AFC match up. Jiggy will start with it first. They'll have Derrick Henry out of position as the quarterback in the backfield. Important opening possession. Henry will swing it to the outside, and there's Harris. Franco close to the marker. He picks up 9.
I'm going to be interested to see what type of play Sharky can make with his user. You see him, he's got that legend Ted Hendricks. That's a 6'7" user. It's going to be hard to throw in that middle of the field with Sharky user and that Hendricks. You see him right there in the middle of the field, Scott. That guy is a monster.
Good to see Donnie Moore in the chat, one of my favorite people on the planet. He's excited about these Buccaneers rolling down the field already. That's enough to move the chains. 9 yards shy of midfield.
D Mizzle in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat coming through. We're on the PlayStation channel, Scott, the YouTube, I think the Twitch, the Facebook. Got a lot of followers on those channels now. Probably some new people that may not watch competitive Madden. So, hopefully they're enjoying it. And thank you for being here. And what an opportunity for these players, huh? To play on PlayStation's channel.
Oh, that's a tip drill, and it's Ed Too Tall Jones. Back there at the 9-yard line. He'll pick it off.
We told you it wasn't going to be the regular Cowboys and the regular Bucks, Scott. As you can see, you got Ed Too Tall Jones and out of position playing safety. Imagine a 6'8" safety out there. There he goes, just gets it off the tip drill. And Sharky looking good early, and this is what I expected, Scott. I told you, he labbed with his guy Kong, who we saw take care of business over there in the AFC, and he said, he's gotten me right, and he's very confident he's going to come away with this NFC side of the bracket. So far,
Wavy, welcome to the chat. They might be on a collision course. He's got to take care of Jiggy first, though. Here's his favorite player, Derek Carr, and he throws it away. Not to be confused with David Carr.
It's cool that he's a Raiders fan playing with Derek Carr as his quarterback. And I did ask him, he said that's the golden ticket Derek Carr. He's rocking the Hot Route Master, the Gunslinger, and the Fearless abilities on him, if anybody was wondering.
So he's playing with a little bit of his heart here, but the golden ticket will back it up. Rolling out. Oh, finds Jerry Rice coming back, leans to the marker. He's going to be just shy.
Carr looks very tired right now. He's going to have to be careful. This is 3rd and 1. He should be able to pick this up easy.
This is where you got to call on Bo Jackson. Pick you up the first down.
He's in shotgun. He's in bunch.
He's got the fridge back there, RG.
Might be a little 0-1 trap or some inside zone. That's the base.
Over 300 pounds. Pushing his way forward. He didn't get there. 4th and inches.
Wow, did you see the tackle they made on Sploose Perry? I know his name's William, but I like to call him Sploose Perry because he's a big sploose out there. And you see him, but to stop him from getting a yard, that's a grown man tackle right there, Scott.
Yeah, 300 pounds, ran a 4.6 at Clemson. They just need a couple inches.
He's got to go back to Sploose Perry here. He doesn't even have Carr in the game. You see Prescott at quarterback. That's his backup.
He's going to call timeout. A bit in the middle pretzel here on this opening drive. He didn't force the turnover as Ed Too Tall Jones picked it off on the tip drill. And we are on PlayStation 4 tonight. Hey, you win tonight, you put a little money in your pocket. If you don't have a PlayStation 5, you might have one by the end of the night. Oh, we got a flag. And that's going to back it up. got to go for it, right?
The 4th and inch is the 4th and 1. I'm thinking of 4th and 5, Scott. It's not as easy. You can't just dump it down to the flat and guarantee it to yourself he's going to punt.
You mentioned how many times they've faced each other before, so he'll punt it away, and it's a boomer. 80 yards in the air, and Michael Vick goes nowhere. Gets out to the 29. A return of 8.
And you know what? You're right. He has played, Sharky has played Jiggy a couple times. He said he's won the last 3 matchups. And you know what, Scott? He did say he's very confident in his defense against Jiggy's bunch. So being confident in your defense, it makes sense why he punted right there.
Derrick Henry back in the gun. People asking in chat, why would he go for it on 4th and 5? Most of the time in Madden, it doesn't matter. It can be 4th and 15. It can be 4th and 10. You go for it because you get so many limited possessions.
That's the thing right there, Scott. And I'll get into it right after this play. I want to talk over it, but remind me to make the point on that because that's a good
Franco
point.
Harris. No immaculate reception needed. That's a first down.
But you make the point, Scott, of going for it on 4th down. And if we have new people watching that aren't used to watching competitive Madden, oh, that's fake. Madden's not realistic. I got to talk to Coach Madden himself at one point, and I asked him, I said, hey, if you had to play 5-minute quarter football games, would you ever punt the ball or would you be aggressive? He said, I'd almost never punt in a 5-minute quarter game. Every possession would be that important. So if we were playing 15-minute quarter games, you probably see these guys punt a little bit more. But when the possessions are so limited and you got to take advantage of each and every one of them, and they're that much more important, that's when, your 4th down flexibility changes a little bit. So the quarter length, a big reason why you'll see Madden players, good Madden players, go for it or be more aggressive on 4th down.
And they're okay giving up the short field because a lot of times that's where you force a field goal is with a short field. It's harder to stop a good Madden player to go 80 yards than it is to go 8 sometimes. Second and 10.
Scott, 40-second play clock. 3 plays takes away 2 minutes out of a 5-minute quarter game. I mean, just to put that in perspective for you. So, no problem getting aggressive. I already knew it, and then when the big guy, Coach Madden, the legend himself, verified it for me years ago, I said, oh, yeah, Madden players, we know what we're doing.
Second and 10. But if you got confidence in your defense, that's a different story. You know your opponent. Henry back in the bunch. I'm talking about Derrick Henry, not the legend Madden Pro, the youngster. Henry will roll out. He'll send the tight end. Nothing there. Throws it up the sideline. Here comes 3rd down.
And we told them, Scott, that this is Ultimate Team, so they customize these players, which is why you don't see Prescott or Brady under center. But then you're like, why is Derrick Henry at quarterback? But there's kind of like these fantasy type of out-of-position items where you'll see players get cards that are out of their normal position. So you'll see Derrick Henry at quarterback with like good quarterback stats, or we saw Ed Too Tall Jones at safety instead of defensive end. So that's what it is. It's an out of position version of Derrick Henry that actually has good quarterback stats, like good throwing, etc.
Yeah, it's not the Wildcat that you're seeing. He can throw it downfield. Needs to get 10 yards here on 3rd down. It's been stingy, to say the least. Motions out Johnson. Henry looking, wide open. As Johnson brings it in, he'll move the chains, plus territory to the 41.
Good play by Jiggy. He had 2 curl routes on the field. Made Sharky pick one of them, and then ended up making the right read. Very, very good play by Jiggy. And I'll tell you what, Scott, he's got to be careful. He's got to run the ball, and he's going to have to check down. Sharky plays with 5 deep route KOs on his defense with the abilities, which means it's man-to-man coverage. And if those guys make contact with the wide receiver and it's on a deep pass, more than likely the wide receiver is going to drop the ball. That's how the abilities work in Madden. So if you're Jiggy, you got to understand that, and you got to take advantage of the run, and you got to take advantage of your checkdowns, because beating Sharky deep, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, if you're watching Madden for the first time competitively, you see those stars underneath them. That's kind of like Ultimates and Overwatch or something like that. Here comes the blitz. Cam Chancellor gets to the QB.
Another thing Sharky's doing, Scott, that's very, very high level, is he turns his auto flip off and he calls his defense flipped because he knows that Jiggy wants to flip his bunch. You see how the cornerback's on the left side of the field right here.
3rd and 14, good to see Papa Dot out in the chat. Some familiar faces as Franco Harris leans to the 42. That's close to the original line of scrimmage, and now you're in no man's land.
4th and 11, you're kind of out of field goal range. I think you go for this. He's
going to try to kick it. He's got that Justin Tucker, who's pretty good from about 60.
That's my fault, Scott. I forgot we were an ultimate team.
You forgot about Justin Tucker. Bang.
I forgot we were an ultimate team for a second. That's a layup of a field goal for Justin Tucker. And that focus kicker ability. An ultimate team, you can equip the ability called focus kicker, where that kick meter moves very, very slow, and it's very easy to get full power and perfect accuracy when you have an elite kicker like Justin Tucker. So not only does he have the leg, he has the ability to help make sure he gets the full power and the accuracy on the meter.
Did you see that hold by Tom Brady?
Never, and only in a video game. Only in a video game.
Well, we got our first points on the board. 3-0 in favor of Jiggy. Now Sharky goes back on the attack, and he throws a pick.
Ooh!
Jones
Gibson
picks it off. Can he get a block? He's tackled on the outside at the 26. He's in business now.
Joseph Pinckney from Kingsland, Georgia, the underdog. The 25-year-old, all the momentum now, got 3. Gets his 2nd stop of the game so far, and now he has the chance to make this 2-possession ball game, Scott. He's got to take advantage of this.
He's playing out of the Buccaneers, but his favorite team's the Dallas Cowboys. And right now he's showing Sharky what's up. Oh, to pick up the blitz. Can't get away, though. That's a gain of 1. Now Selman with the tackle, his 2nd of the ball game. In field goal range here, but a field goal really doesn't do you much, RG. A touchdown would be huge before the end of the half.
I got my guy Papa Dot in the chat, Scott. He's using all my sayings. He's got to stand up for himself and hold the door. That's what he's calling for Sharky.
Yeah, that's going to be a delay of game. That'll push him back 5 yards. We've seen a couple delay of games already tonight.
Hey, you get nervous, Scott. You start playing under the bright lights. You start playing in front of people. You start playing for money on the line. It's a different kind of Madden. It's a different kind of experience. But you know what? It's an experience, and you're only going to get better playing in pressure games like this.
Here comes the blitz. Slings it outside of Franco Harris. And he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe got 1. So the gain of 6 makes it 3rd and 9. Ash is not enjoying Derrick Henry at quarterback in the chat.
That's funny. It does feel wrong, but we can assure you, Ash, this isn't normal Derrick Henry. Think of like Derrick Henry if he had Josh Allen's arm. Like it's a problem out there. I assure you. Like Henry's slanging that thing.
And he can run too. 3rd and 9. It's like the ultimate Cam Newton. A little motion, Josh Gordon on the outside. Looking downfield. Will he take off? He's going to use his legs. Can't make a miss, and now a decision.
Very nice tackle by Sharky right there, Scott. Good user by Hendricks. Obeyed the field, reacted to the scramble, clicked off right in time to make the tackle. I wish it was a user hit stick. He would have had a way better chance to cause a fumble, though, had he not clicked off.
Doesn't use a timeout here. So, boy, and he could have ran that clock down further and just squeaks it into the right upright. So 2 field goals for Jiggy, and he's got Sharky down 6-0.
If if you're Sharky, this is a huge drive. You have the ability to still get all the momentum because remember, he's going to get the ball to start the second half. So if you can score, leave Jiggy no time to put a drive together, go up into the half up 7-6, and get the ball back, you're in prime position to still win this game. But in that process, you got to be careful not turning the ball over here and giving Jiggy more points before the half where he makes it a 2-possession ball game.
Sharky could double dip the chip here. He gets the ball to start the second half. And throws it away with Derek Carr. That's that golden ticket that RG brought up earlier. His favorite player in all of the NFL is Derek Carr. He's a huge Raiders fan. Right now he's 1 of 4.
Good defense by Jiggy. And what a name. Jiggy is a phenomenal tag, gamer tag. I like the name.
Boy, X was wide open. Instead, he squeezes it into window, but that's smart as he stops the clock, RG, along the boundary.
Yeah, Jay Lloyd said this is a defensive game so far. So far it is. Also, shout out to my guy, JT_Cole in the chat, Scott. He's saying what's good. Appreciate
no relation.
The love. All right? Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. All of y'all on there. Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. Thank y'all so much.
Throws it back to Jerry Rice. Goes down at the 46. He's going to have to hustle up here.
And you see
Under a minute we go.
That Jerry Rice, Scott, has the playmaker ability, and he gets a discount on that playmaker ability. Only 2 AP for playmaker on that Jerry Rice, making him a very, very good wide receiver.
Smartly, he'll use a timeout as he completes it downfield to DK Metcalf at the 27-yard line. So he's in field goal range with 44 seconds to go. He's got 1 timeout under his belt left.
Very prolific drive so far by Sharky.
Getting stingy down here, though. This is as furthest he's been. Looking to the sideline again. This time it's Gronk at the 9.
This is surgical, Scott. I mean, in under a minute, he's here at the 9-yard line, still has a timeout left. This is exactly what Sharky needed to do. This 16-year-old is showing a ton of poise right now, but it doesn't count unless you finish the job.
First and goal at the 9, 39 ticks left in the first half. He gives it to the Fridge, who falls forward, but his knee was down at the 9, a gain of 0.
It's hurrying up, Scott. Not a lot of time.
20 seconds left in the half now. Carr to the end zone. Touchdown.
It's a beautiful pass right there by Sharky. Good read, phenomenal drive. And on that touchdown pass over the middle, you saw him use that low throw mechanic. You hold the LT button when you throw it. It's going to put a low velocity on the ball. It's much harder for the defenders to pick the ball. And if you're not low throwing in Madden 22 or you haven't been, you just haven't been doing it right. Great use of the mechanics right there by Sharky. And again, amazing poise to put that 2-minute drive together and get the touchdown and put himself in a position now to get the ball at halftime, take and preserve the lead, potentially make it 2 possessions. I mean, textbook right there by Sharky.
He went 7 plays in 1 minute and 11 to go those 75 yards. 16 seconds left in the half. He's going to get a little pooch kick in here. Jiggy still does have 1 timeout remaining. And it's Michael Vick. A little showtime. Makes a man miss. The Michael Vick experience. The 30, the 20, the 10. Touchdown. Get Jiggy with it.
Look at Madden. He's doing the all set, and I'd be all set too. You want to lose games? You want a remedy to lose John Madden football games, Scott? Give up a kick return right before half after you just put together one of the most prolific drives. Jiggy getting jiggy when he absolutely needed it. Oh my goodness. That was huge. The Vikings looked smooth too running up that middle, Scott.
A 96-yard kick return. What do you do when a shark gets bit?
Oh, goodness. He might have hit the shark with one of those spears right there. You're not even a bite. You know, when you watch the dudes on the boats and they're trying to save the whales and they got the harpoons. He might have harpooned them.
Now you got to be careful that you don't throw a pick six here and make it worse.
The Chad's going crazy over that one, too.
Throws it up into coverage, and it's picked off. And that'll be the end of the half. Not without some fireworks in that last minute or so. After the long drive, we get a long kick return. And Jiggy, who was down 1, is now up 6. But Sharkey will get the ball, RG, to start the second half.
This is what these PlayStation tournaments are all about, Scott. I had no idea who Joseph Pinckney, a.k.a. Jiggy, is. I've never heard of him on the Madden scene. Now his name rings bells. That was the guy that got super icky with the Vikings before half to take the lead before Sharkey. He's on my radar.
Says his favorite player is Sean Taylor. He used to be a huge Miami Hurricane fan back in the day. Said he'd love to face Skimbo somewhere down the road. And there's Devontae Adams. Get used to that connection coming up in Madden 23.
Yeah.
That moves it out to the 44.
How about Adams getting announced as the first reveal of the 99 club today for Madden 23?
I think deservedly so. And a smart throwaway.
Some people, they were arguing that Cup should have got the nod over him. But Cup came in at 98 OVR, Devontae Adams at 99 OVR on those Madden 23 player reveals.
I mean, Cup's good. I mean, 98's good.
98's pretty good, right?
Let's don't go crazy. Carr. Good catch by Gronk at the 50. Now here comes third down, 3rd and 4. He's going to use a little tempo.
Hurry up is so important if you want to play Madden at a high level. If you don't have hurry up in your arsenal, Scott, you're just not. I was at my best playing Madden football when I made sure to use the hurry up offense. Even outside of the 2-minute drill, it's so annoying to deal with as a defensive player. Not a lot. I don't know why I got away from it. And then you end up getting matched up against it. You're like, why aren't I doing this? It's just so tough to deal with.
The older you get, the slower we go. Oh, boy, he's got circle wide open. That's Jerry Rice at the 23.
One thing we got to give to Sharkey's credit here, Scott, is he's come out in the second half. He's putting together a good drive. He's making good reads, and he doesn't seem to be on tilt, which is awesome to see for a young buck at 16 years old, because a lot of players, you give up that kick return touchdown before half, you're going to be a little angry.
Oh, Jerry Rice makes a man miss, and he's down at the 1.
As you can see, he is not angry, Scott. He is doing exactly what he needs to do. And this just shows a level of maturity. I'm telling you, you don't know how many players I've seen, Scott, that will give up that kick return and then they're just mentally checked out. Like, it's over. You might as well just turn the console off because they're just so frustrated, so angry, sad, upset, whatever it may be. But not Sharkey so far. This has just been... This has been amazing.
Hands it off to the fridge. They won't stop him. Eating in the end zone is William Perry.
As a Bears fan, does that excite you a little bit more to see Perry getting in for 6 on the ground?
Well, he went to Clemson, too, so that's the double dip for me.
He went to Clemson, too? I didn't know that.
That's the double dip.
For
He's an All-American.
If you don't know, Scott is a huge Clemson guy and he's a huge Bears guy, so now it's safe to assume he's a huge Fridge Perry guy. And then you put on the fact that the guy's nickname's the Fridge. Like, that's your type of guy, Scott.
He grew up in the same hometown, went to the same high school my parents went to. That's how far this William Refrigerator Perry goes back. It's deep.
The Coltrane with some serious ties to the Fridge. Let me know in the chat. Is there a better nickname than the Fridge? Seriously, list them in the chat. If you got a better nickname in professional sports than the Fridge, I want to know about it because that's a top 10 nickname, Scott.
It's pretty good. 1st and 10. Derrick Henry rolls out, trailing by 1. He's going to throw it deep. Over Patterson, caught at the 30.
Wow, that was a huge response right there. And the important thing, if you're Jiggy right there, Scott, that gets you in field goal range where you can take the lead. You just can't turn it over right now. Obviously, he wants 7, but that takes a lot of pressure off of you when you know, hey, as long as I don't do something really dumb here, I should be able to at least get the lead back.
Machinist brings up Weapon X. Brian Dawkins, another Clemson guy.
That's a good one.
Keeping with the theme.
Stink was cool. Was there someone with the nickname Stink? No way. That would have been a great nickname.
Yeah, John B. Who is the Stink? It sounds like a personal nickname. You can't put your own nicknames in there. 2nd and 8. Henry once again. Boy, he's using this play clock. And he'll just throw it away.
You know, I'm going to have to say it, Scott. There's so many Madden players out there that force throws that don't know how to throw the ball away. If you're playing Madden football and you're turning the ball over a lot, learn to throw the ball away. Click in that right stick if there's nothing there and live to throw another down. Do not force it downfield. And I always love when I see players throw that ball.
That's in the coverage, and it's picked.
Should have thrown that one away.
He was only rushing 2 players, RG.
Oh, my gosh, dude. That was the caster curse. I'm paying all this homage of, like, not forcing it into coverage. He used the throw-away mechanic, clicking in that right stick. He's doing all the right things. He can take – all he needs to do is not do something dumb, get 3, take the lead. And then it just fell apart. I mean, that was triple coverage, Scott.
Yeah.
We call that a Stevie Wonder. We call that a bird box. That was not a good read.
Well, now Sharkey with the 1-point lead. He can take us to the 4th quarter here, and he will. Put your 4s up in the chat. As we head to the final minutes here in our first semifinal in the NFC. Huge turnover. The Sharkey fans in the chat loving it.
And they're asking, why is Derrick Henry at QB? That's what Henry does at QB. We talked about this at the start of the show. This is Madden Ultimate Team. These guys design their teams with custom players, and part of the player pool that you can design with has out-of-position players where you'll have a quarterback version of Derrick Henry that has good throwing stats. You'll have a safety version of Ed Too Tall Jones who can play coverage. So it's kind of like a fantasy league out there in Ultimate Team. If you know, you know.
Especially this time of year. They hand it off to the fridge. 5 carries for 7 yards and a touchdown for the big fella.
Look at all the 4s in the chat. I'm appreciative of the participation in the chat, Coltrane.
Yeah, the chat's on one right now. I'm loving it. 2nd and 10. Carr, little play action. Boy, just rip it to X. Oh. We got a flag downfield. I think I'm actually going to say back here at the line of scrimmage, it was a legal forward pass. He was beyond the original line of scrimmage. That's a loss of down, 3rd and 15.
This is interesting, Scott, because if he doesn't get this, it doesn't get any yards here at 4th down, he may have to punt because Jiggy's going to be in field goal range where he could take the lead late in the 4th quarter. It's huge down.
And that goes out of bounds at the 39. Crosby brings up an interesting thing in chat. We always have this talk between Ultimate Team and Reg teams, right? And then we put like our Madden pros into like a Regs tournament, and they win those by like 40 or 50. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always been an argument, and there is a huge difference. I'm not saying there's not, and I love regular teams. Regs is so good, but like, if you can play, you can play.
And here's the thing, Crosby speculated. He said these dudes would be so bad with reg teams. You don't know what his game plan is with reg teams. You don't know if he's switching up the playbook or if he's switching up the personnel.
It could be going double tight end. Who knows?
Yeah, we don't know what they're doing. There's a lot of speculating going on right there.
To the sideline, there's Gronk. That'll move the chains to the 21. Both players still 3 timeouts, RG.
Looking good right now for Sharkey. Coming up time and time again when he needs it. And seeing these handoffs to the fridge just doesn't get old.
Yeah, that's just using the clock. That should take it to the 2-minute warning. It's been stingy. If you just joined us, 2 field goals by Jiggy. Took a 6-point lead. And then Sharkey put a crazy drive together right before the end of the half. And then Michael Vick ran back the ensuing kickoff with 6 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. And no one has scored since. Carr wings it to Jerry Rice. Tackled in bounds at the 20. some point you got to think about using these timeouts.
It's an awkward spot if you're Jiggy. You kind of got to wait to see if he gets this first down right here before you start using him.
Clock becoming a factor. Under 90 seconds to go. Play action. Throws it. That's going to be enough for a first down. Goes out of bounds, though, at the 4. That'll stop the clock with 1:24 to go.
This is awkward now if you're I guess with all 3 timeouts, you kind of just want to score. You would like to get into Jiggy's timeouts before you score, but I guess the priority here does just have to be to go get 7. The question is, if he gets 7, does he go for 1 or go for 2 to make it a 2-possession game?
That's the huge question. How diabolical are you? Do you roll the dice to go up by 9 and basically in the game?
Yeah, I'm going diabolical. Ray Cruz saying Sharky's the best 16-year-old in Madden. Definitely a promising young player.
Fridge bouncing around. A Plinko chip to the 1.
Our guy Kong's in the chat, Scott, the AFC champion.
Doing a little scouting for the grand final.
Hey, he's rooting on his boy. I told you, Kong got Sharky ready for this tournament. They've been labbing, and Sharky told me their goal is to face off with each other in the final.
And he falls in for the score, and now it's decision time. And he will kick the extra point to go up 8. I think this is a mature decision.
It is smart. I said I would get diabolical, but you know what? You got to get full context out there, Scott. Jiggy hasn't scored an offensive touchdown, right? It's 2 field goals and a kick return for a touchdown. So if you're Sharky, you're doing the right thing here. Have faith in your defense. Plus, Jiggy doesn't have a ton of time. There's a minute 16, 1 timeout. So, yeah, right move by Sharky for sure.
He angles the kick to Michael Vick, who has a touchdown return, but this time he's blown up at the 20.
That's a boom!
1:13 to go. Just a 1-scored game. He needs a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to send us to overtime. Some folks in the chat are saying, yeah, man, should have went for 2. Should have ended it.
If the defense hasn't been as stinge mode as it's been for Sharky, I would agree.
Henry's going to take off. Remember, he just has 1 timeout remaining. That clock is ticking away.
Use a tackle right there by Sharky. It's those little things, Scott. A lot of people wouldn't notice that, but he's showing really good stick work with his Hendricks, especially when it comes to breaking off the coverage and reacting to the scramble. He has that 16-year-old reaction time, I'll say that much.
Ted Hendricks was never that fast, but he is right now. They goes deep. That's Johnson. He pulls it in. Touchdown, Jiggy!
Goodness, and look at them. They're doing the motorcycle swag. Oh, get your swag right. Go ahead. Go ahead. You scored a touchdown with 30 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Got to get the 2, though.
Keyshawn. Give him the dang ball. Got the 2 at the 2 to try to send us to overtime.
Twin tight end.
Big play.
It's most likely like a stretch, some sort of fullback dive maybe.
Oh, man, now he's going to use that final timeout. I mean, this is... what a way to start the evening here in the NFC.
And here come the Hernandez with the backseat coaching. Why didn't you go for 2? hey, the defense was looking crispy before Keyshawn just decided to get
the
mossy.
Stretch, the tackle!
Hold it on!
And now the onside kick. About to test how lucky you really are. And DK Metcalf will end the ball game. But it was a great one, RG.
Oh, that was a great game. Comes down to the hold the door by Sharky on the 2-point conversion. I mean, he clutched up. That young man played some good Madden. But, hey, props to Jiggy, right? I mean, this guy, he stayed. He fought the whole entire time. Made some plays. Showed flashes of stick work. Good defense. Joseph Pinckney. When we get to the finals next week in that bracket, Scott, he's not one to be slept on. Jiggy can still get jiggy in this tournament.
Yeah, he will be in the grand final on July 26th. But it's the Shark, little Sharky, the Shark Attack. He is going to be in the final of the NFC. And I'm telling you what, RG, that was a good one. We had some big plays. We had some long kickoff return. We had the bomb. When it comes down to it, it was a 2-point conversion that failed for Jiggy. And that opened the door for Sharky to close out the ball game. But it was earned. It wasn't given. It was earned.
It was a nail-biter of a game. It comes down to a hold-the-door moment. When Sharky makes that tackle, I'm thinking of Hodor when he's on the ground just yelling, hold the door, because, I mean, he needed it right there. That door needed to be held, or they were going to go to overtime, and that is not where you want to be if you're Sharky, Jiggy getting all that momentum. But you know what? The 16-year-old clutched up, and despite plenty of adversity, he got it done. And these are signs of what could be a great, great player down the line. I love seeing these youngsters make a name for themselves, and Sharky is really beginning to do that, Coltrane.
Do you like running the ball down there on that 2-point conversion?
No.
As we look at these big plays, it started off with a tip drill in the first quarter, RG.
It was too tall. Jiggy was able to force a stop right back. See Sharky playing a little bit of defense.
And then it was Derek Carr who threw another INT. This opened up the door for another field goal for Jiggy. That kick right there would put him up 6-0. And boy, he's probably wishing he could have had some touchdowns in that first half. There's that low throw to Metcalf that put him up 1. But here comes Michael Vick, RJ.
Yeah, the Mike Vick experience right there on kickoff. That was just smooth. Good stick work. And talk about taking the momentum before the end of the half.
So he led by 1. He would go up 13-7. And then Jerry Rice would get him down to the 1-yard line. He would punch it in with the fridge a couple seconds later, and he would take a 1-point lead. But Henry, with a couple big plays, that was a dot down to Johnson. And then he would come back the other way, though, and throw a pick.
Yeah, and here we go. I mean, the thing, right? No, I thought we were going to see the 2-point here play. I really want to get to this 2-point conversion play. I'm not going to win this.
Well, you got this bomb first to Keyshawn coming across the field. Little one-on-one, and then, nope, see ya. All of a sudden, we get a ball game, and here comes that 2-point conversion. Boop.
Click on tap. And you asked, is the stretch the right call there, Scott? When you got Derrick Henry at quarterback, no, the stretch is not the right call.
Yeah, you spread it out and make them work. But it doesn't matter. Sharky holds the door. He is in the final. So the Cowboys punch their way through, and now we get to find out if it's going to be the Falcons or Bears as Knockout and Coy. They got some work to do because we had an absolute classic in that first semifinal.
Yeah, I'm excited, Scott. That we knew what to expect coming from Sharky, having talked with him, knowing that he had lab with Kong, knowing that he watches some MCS and he's aspiring to be, a great Madden player, next year and really take his game to the next level. With Coy and Knockout, I have no idea about these guys. They're young bucks, 16 years old, 17 years old. Yep. So they're young just like Sharky, but I don't know what their aspirations is. I don't know where their heads are at. So it's going to be interesting to see if any of these guys could really stand out and put themselves on our radar, Scott. We've been watching enough Madden games where we can tell talent when we see it. I'm very excited to see what level of talent we're about to see out of these two players.
Well, here we go. Semifinal number 2. No rest for the weary. Knockout and Coy. Knockout will be the Atlanta Falcons. Coy will be the Chicago Bears. Even though I don't want you to get biased already, because you know in the survey that our guy Knockout is a huge Patriots fan. He's a huge Tom Brady fan. Which way you lean into this? There he is, 17 years old. He's from Massachusetts.
Yeah, I mean he's got a lot of good things going on right now. Knockout's a great name. Jacob Potas, your last name almost spells potato. That's a W in itself. 17 years old, out of the great state of Massachusetts. Boston, Beantown, stand up. Love me some Beantown. I grew up there. I miss me some marinated steak tips. And again, a New England Patriots fan, a Tom Brady fan. This is my kind of guy. In Knockout right here. Scott. Hopefully he does have the impact there. And I don't want to be biased. I'm not going to be biased to Coy, but I'm a little biased because the Boston love. I just can't hide it.
Well, Coy will be the Chicago Bears, so hey, we got that going on. He is 16 years old. He's from Michigan. You can catch him out streaming on the Twitch chat. He'll be using the Raiders playbook, and you know he's 16 years old because one of his favorite Madden players that he'd love to face is Henry.
Yeah, that's awesome that he's keeping up with the MCS. Henry is the guy that got onto the MCS scene at 16 years old himself and has never missed a major. So Coy, aspiring for the right things. And you also know he's 16 years old, Scott, when he says his favorite football player is Darnell Mooney. I mean, that's a new school kind of player. Mooney, by the way, props to Coy, because I do think Mooney's going to have a big fantasy season this upcoming year, Scott. He's one of my sleeper picks. Them fantasy drafts are right around the corner.
Well, what do you think, Twitch Stat? Who's going to win? Is it going to be Knockout or Coy? And our semifinal number 2, the winner of this one will face Sharky in the final. That one's coming up next. We will crown someone in the NFC before it's over here in our Madden 22 Summer Scrimmage, part of our PlayStation tournaments. But who do you think is going to win? Will it be Knockout? Will it be Coy? It's your chance to vote out there in the chat as we're getting ready for semifinal number 2 to get started. And the chat thinks that Knockout, 67%. I think you sold him again.
What the Boston bias might have kicked in a little bit there. They're rocking with them, but again, I don't have a lot to go off of here, Scott. I don't know if the chat has a lot to go off of, so we're going to go off of the guy that's from the City of Champions, Massachusetts.
Well, Nitro in the chat, he's saying that Coy is an absolute demon on the
Coy
sticks.
Is a demon?
That he might win the whole thing. But hey, if you're a friend, you gotta pump it up. Even though Kong's warning us that Sharky's going to flood somebody in the next game. I don't know. I don't know. Jiggy put up a pretty good fight.
Hey, you can't just throw the term demon around loosely. Demon on the sticks means we should be able to tell very, very quickly that our boy Coy is hell in a cell. So I'm going to hold you to this one, Nitro. I'm going to be looking for demon tendencies for my guy Coy on the sticks.
Once again, Knockout is representing the Atlanta Falcons. Coy is representing his favorite team, the Chicago Bears, and to see who's going to face Sharky and the Cowboys here in the final as we're getting moments away from kicking it off. We had the AFC a couple weeks ago. Kong winning that whole thing. And the cool thing is on July 26th, we'll have our grand final. We'll have 4 players from the AFC, 4 from the NFC that you're seeing tonight. And right now, just on early looks, we might have a Kong and Sharky final coming up next week.
That's their goal, Scott. Sharky said that's what they've been labbing for. That's what they're practicing for. But we'll see. Supposedly, Coy's a demon. So I'm going to be interested to see what we got here on the other side of the NFC bracket. And I'm also
you're and your buddy Chow. Y'all used to lab all the time. It's all fun getting ready until you got to face someone with a lot of money on the line.
It happened to us. I had one of my best friends. We both made the Madden Challenge finals, the 32 championship, 100,000 on the line way back in the day, ages and ages ago. And we labbed, we practiced with each other, and we got matched up in the final 8. And I got popped.
If you want to see some of the footage of RG Madden Pro, you need to have a VCR.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Not a VCR.
I think it's on Laserdisc. Here we go.
Sad.
Semifinal number 2. Cowboys are waiting in the finals. It's going to be, what do we got, a Green Bay field here? Falcons and Bears at Lambeau. Usually they try to go indoor. You want to avoid that wind.
708, is that a Chicago area code, Scott? The 708? You know about that?
I don't know. I don't know phone numbers anymore. You just say, hey, phone, do this, and it does that.
I did see in the chat we had a few folks from Boston, a few folks, what do we have? A few folks from Boston, a few folks from Michigan. Let me know in the chat. Where y'all at today in the chat? Rep your set in the chat one time.
It looks like it's in the western part of the state, not too far from Chicago, in the 708. Yeah, right there. Kind of in the southern part of Chicago, on the south side.
to get. You know, I've got, speaking of Chicago, and we're going to get roasted for this because we always get into some sort of food topic. I've become a huge fan of the Italian beef sandwich, Scott. The Chicago special.
I mean, I'm not, you know me, I'm not disagreeing. You put it in front of me, I'm going to eat it. First and 10. And it's going to be Coy starting off with it first. All white Bear unis. Against these arena team looking jerseys that the Atlanta Falcons have this year. They are terrible.
No, I don't think they're that bad.
It's awful. It's awful, RG. Come on now.
I think you're being hard. Let us know in the chat. Are these Falcons uniforms are WR and L? Let us know in the chat.
I don't know. You know, the Jags tried that gradient look a couple years ago. It just
isn't as bad as that.
Gradient is something someone does when they buy Photoshop for the first time, then you never do it again. 2nd and 9. Henry swings it to the outside. Boy, that was a tight window.
Oh, good defense right there by Knockout, forcing the knockout. A bunch tight end right here by Coy.
3rd and 9 now. Falcons, no Matt Ryan next year. He's up in Indy. Enjoy your 3 wins, Falcon fans. Henry standing in the pocket. He's going to get sacked up.
Low key, that was a really good defense by Knockout, Scott. His user right there guarded like 3 routes. It was just perfect coverage, and a lot of it had to do with his user, Jimmy Graham. I'm very impressed by Knockout right there. He guarded the crosser. And then he guarded the deep end, and that gave plenty of time for the pressure. That took away the reads for the pressure to get there and get the sack. That was a coverage sack, and the coverage came from Knockout's user defender. Very good defense by Knockout.
3 and out. Doesn't get any better than that, RG.
Every now and then, you just see the way someone lurks, Scott. You take away 2 or 3 good routes on a play, right away. Like, you know that meme where the guy kind of sits up closer to the screen? That's kind of like what happens after you see someone that can lurk like that. You're like, all right, this guy might be real.
Crosby saying in the chat, well, with Matt Ryan, they get 5 wins. Well, you might not be wrong. Oh, man.
The chat split on the Falcons uniforms. I saw some L's. My guy Marco said the Falcons uniforms aren't that bad. Boy, Clayton Clay saying at least 6 or 7 wins for the Falcons.
No way. No way. Bo Jackson falls forward to the 27. The best receiver is Kyle Pitts. I mean, come on now. It's going to be a rough season.
Lose Gage. That is going to be tough.
2nd and 6. Henry rolling, looking, and there's Johnson picking up the first down out of the 44, just shy of midfield.
Knockout might be tough. Knockout might be tough. He's showing our guy Jacob Potus. I'm going to call it. I keep wanting to say Potato, but I don't want to disrespect his last name like that. He's looking tough, man.
Only rushing 2. 9 in coverage.
Scrambled.
And he smartly, get out there and throw it away. No shame in that.
The middle of the field, if you add some crispy stick work right there, can scramble for a good 10 yards all day. But your stick work has to be crispy. Like, you can't just, not anyone can just scramble for 10 right there. But someone with crispy stick work, that's 10 all day. I'll tell you that much.
2nd and 15 now after the sack. Opening drive here for Knockout. Slings it. And there's Charles Woodson. He'll roll his way to the 44. That's plus territory and a new set of downs. He's going to have to bring more than 2. I'm just going to say it right now. R1 all open. That's Allsworth, the legend, to the 19.
If you're Coy, you need to get some pressure on it. You just cannot let Henry just sit back here with this 2-man rush. I mean, he's getting too surgical.
Able to pick up 2 as he rushes around the end there. Yeah, just bringing 2. Crosby's asking if that's the meta. No. It's okay to do sometimes as the mix-up. You mix it up, and every once in a while you bring two. Bo Jackson, a little hesitation, tripped up at the 14 as he's laid out.
Shotgun counter. This is some unorthodoxness right there from Knockout.
And that's the end of the first quarter. We blinked. 0-0 at the end of one.
That's by quick.
Not messing around with his running game. Henry could have taken off again. Instead, it's a diving catch by Charles Woodson, the former Wolverine.
And that's that low throw. I'm telling you, if you play Madden and you're not familiar with the high-low throw mechanic, you have to learn it. You hold the left trigger when you throw the ball. It's going to put a low trajectory on the pass, and if L2, and if you hold L1 when you throw it, it's going to put a high trajectory on the ball.
Well, he's got some big fellas in there, and he goes goal line play action to the one. That was Evan Ingram, the speedy tight end for the Giants. And here comes the fridge time. No, he's going to sneak it with Derrick Henry. Touchdown knockout.
That was impressive by Knockout. He had really good defense and then put together a good drive, Scott. Not a lot of mistakes. Early indications are pointing to my guy from Massachusetts right now being the favorite to win this game. Not just because he's up 7-0, but just seeing what I've seen on the stick works, seen on the stick so far. Knockout's looking like a legitimate player here.
Boy, the auto mod really with big hit sticks on Crosby there in the chat. Hope he's okay. 3:12 to go.
Hang in there, Crosby. Stay strong, brother.
First and 10. Went 3 and out last time. You can't have it this time. He is boxed.
And I'll tell you one thing that's interesting, Scott, is if you look at the surveys we got, Knockout, he's primarily a PS5 player, and this tournament's on the PS4, which means that he is switched over in labs specifically for this tournament to start playing on PS4. So you know that he's taking this very seriously if he's willing to, switch from his primary console to get involved.
A little flick pass up the sideline, caught at the 38. That was a dot.
That's a tight window. That's a tight window, though. That's going to be a tough way to make a living.
Little flick pass to Brandon Marshall. Ooh, baby. You needed that. First down of the game for Coy. And he's going up top. He's got a man. Touchdown, Marshall.
Good read right there by Coy. And for Knockout, that's frustrating. He knew exactly what he needed to guard. That was his responsibility. He ran with the crosser, but it was like a fake bluff. He wasn't really guarding it as deep as he needed to be. He was just kind of in the area, but not good enough stick work to stay with the receiver. And a perfect throw by Coy. Great response. Now we got ourselves a ball game, Scott. Did I hop on the Knockout bandwagon too early?
Might have 2:16 to go. Now you're going to find out what Knockout's got.
I think he's going to respond. The difference that I saw early on, Knockout was mixing up his coverages. A little 2-man, a little 5-man rush, a 3-man rush. Where Coy, he hasn't sent the heat yet. He's just been kind of in this 2-man rush all game. I don't think he's going to be able to make a living like that, or he's going to have to start mixing it up at some point.
Well, he brought 3 this time, but they run it on him, and that's Bo Jackson picking up a chunk as we get to the 2-minute warning. All tied at 7. Derrick Henry in the gun once again. Looking. Zero pressure. And finally, he pushes the right stick in.
Good throwaway right there. He was looking for a shot. I think he wanted the cross or that streak up the seam to triangle. Keyshawn.
2nd and 10 now. Bears got the ball first. That's Coy. So if you can come down here, put a drive together, score right before the end of the half, You get the ball back to back. That's huge.
Sure, and now you got knockout missing reads. He had that corner route, but got some separation towards the end right there. Missed it, ended up throwing the ball away. But definitely a missed opportunity from him.
Coy making some adjustments, too.
These crossers.
There's Johnson across the formation here on 3rd and 10. Here comes the blitz. And he forces it in there and is picked off by Houston. He's back on his feet. Can they catch Ken? They won't. Touchdown, Coy. It's a pick 6.
Woo. I definitely was sleeping on Coy, Scott. He mixed in a beautiful blitz right there. Completely threw knockout off of his game. Forces the read, throws it right at the defender. User pick, takes it back to the crib. Great mix-up of defense from Coy right there. That is how to mix up your coverages. That is how to utilize the blitz. And that is how to user a wide receiver and take advantage of a book. Phenomenal right there by Coy. And now he has all the momentum.
Yeah, he played the most vanilla defense we've ever seen. Ever. On the first drive. That was a huge play. He's making the adjustments.
He sent the dogs that last one, and that'll mess with you as a Madden player, Scott. You start getting comfortable. Oh, this guy's going to send 2. He's going to send 3 every time. You start feeling comfortable with it, and then the next thing you know, that heat is screaming. The DB's flying off of the edge. You don't want to take the sack. I mean, that was just good scheming right there by Coy. You got to pay homage when homage is due, and it's due.
14 unanswered. Now you got to be careful if you're knockout not to give him the ball back again. Clock stopped, 1:28 to go, and here comes 3rd down.
What if his nickname's Coy because he plays coy, Scott? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just kind of play coverage. We make them think they're comfortable, and then, boom, go scum with the
His
blitz.
defense was fishy.
It was definitely not Coy.
That first drive.
Yeah, Coy snapped.
Big 3rd down. Looking. He's going to send a blitzer. Throws a little playmaker at him, but no, 4th down.
Dang.
He's going to punt it.
The momentum has shifted, huh?
Yeah, we were getting knockout ready to face Sharky.
I was getting ready to crown knockout. I was going to put him on the MCS power rankings. Getting ready to. I was sold after the first drive, man. I might be out of touch. It's still a lot of ball game left, though, Cole.
Tons.
A lot of ball game left.
And this is not the place you want the football. With the 1:12 to go in the quarter. 2 timeouts remaining for both of our players. Henry looking, just throws it away.
It's good defense, and you'll see it. You got to be able to throw the ball away. You go up against good Madden players. They're going to play good defense. You got to recognize when that happens and not force things. I love seeing how. Back when I started coming up, Scott, you didn't throw the ball away unless you were like a top 50 player in the world. Now it's like everybody knows how to do it.
Henry, that's a laser beam to the 10. That clock's on the move. You got to use all the clock here. I don't go quick. I don't know why he's going quick. You got to try to get to half. 3rd and 4. 1st down would be huge. Coy's looking, rolls, fires back the other way. He's got him wide open. Brandon Marshall. Bye, Felicia.
I think knockouts trying to get a little too adjusty out there. You had a deep route on the left. You had the wide open fly route on the right. I mean, everybody was just naked.
He was trying to stop the 1st down and ends up giving up the touchdown.
Yeah, you can't.
21 unanswered, RG.
You can't just be worried about like the 5 yards with 30 seconds left in the half. You're already down a point. That was, like I said, he got way too adjusty for his own good on that one.
26 seconds to go in the half.
How are you guarding the deep ball? Where were the deep zones? Where were the deep blues?
See, now you're going to try to get something back here before the half, which you need to do.
Oh, gosh.
But you got to be careful that you don't put yourself totally out of it with a turnover. There's nothing. By the way, RG, he started the game 5 of 5. He's now 5 of 12 in the passing game.
I feel partly responsible for this. Like, was this just is this just blatantly the caster curse? I don't know what's going on all of a sudden. Coy he's
You're
snapping.
ready to send him a Christmas card, invite him over to dinner, introduce him to the family.
To hit him up next time I go visit back home to take him up with some steak tips. He is a Brady fan, so hopefully, he keep himself in the game, stay poised. There's still plenty of John Madden football to play, but Knockout's going to have to clean it up.
3 straight touchdowns by Coy. Final seconds of the half. And that meta play is not going to get you 80 yards. Timeout with 4 seconds to go here in the second quarter. And Crosby in the chat still doesn't know what an auto mod is. Running to the outside, and that's how the half will end. He was up 7-0. And he gave up 3 straight scores. He's going to get the ball to start, and this becomes the biggest possession of the ballgame.
Hey, I'll tell you, Scott, these are what these PlayStation tournaments are all about. These are different games than just playing like a normal weekend late game or some not head-to-head. The pressure's going to be on. You're going to go up against some guys that are going to be resilient. They're going to fight through adversity. They're going to fight for that cash. They're going to fight for that glory. And that's what Coy's doing right now. It started off grim. He hasn't given up, and now he's got all the momentum. Knockout's going to have to take a page out of his playbook, start to fight back here.
Henry looking down the field. Nice playmaker back to Charles Woodson.
The thing, Scott, too, if you're Knockout, you can't just fall in love with these. You got to mix in some runs. Just scoring right here is so important. I feel like he just keeps on going for the home runs. It's just like he just keeps sending out deep routes with one underneath route. And it's just bagged. You're not going to be able to just get a shot every time down the field. You got to set it up. Feels like he's getting a little anxious.
2nd and 10. Yeah, you can't get it all back. See a lot of Madden players try to do it. Not just place into the hands of a good player. I mean, there's nothing there. He's running around.
Scramble. You got the scramble drill, bro.
Picks up 6 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 5.
So, our guy Hakeem the Beast said, I'm lost here. Why is Derrick Henry at quarterback? You're not the first to ask this, Hakeem. We are playing in Madden Ultimate Team, so these aren't the real Falcons versus the real Bears. These are teams put together with a variety of different players, legends, and current NFL superstars by these guys. They customize their team. And then in Ultimate Team, some of the players that you can put are out-of-position versions. So this is an actual Derrick Henry out-of-position quarterback item that has good throw stats. And you'll see that with a variety of different players. It's kind of like a fantasy mode. They do it to have fun. And, Derrick Henry at quarterback just ended up being one of the better players.
Boy, look at that escape. Yeah, if a player throws one pass in a game, all of a sudden he gets a QB card. That's how it goes. 2nd and 4. And here's Henry.
Got him.
To the end zone. Allworth. Oh, man.
Good read. He even clicked on, did the little wiggle to try to keep himself in bounds. Possession catch. That is a tough break for Knockout. He did almost everything he needed to right there. Dice just didn't go his way.
Boy, that marked the tape right there. You're right. He did everything he could possibly do.
Maybe the one thing also maybe just a little bit late on the throw. If he threw him open, he might have he had a little bit more room to throw him open. He waited a little, but nonetheless, it looked like good execution, enough that would have got the touchdown.
Boy, he has got tunnel vision. Here comes 4th down.
He might be on tilt.
Boy, I thought he had R1 right in the middle of the field. Throw it where they ain't. Here on 4th down.
Oh, R1 was wide open.
Here comes the blitz. It's a turbo blitz. And it's a turnover on down.
Coy's nickname is Coy has the perfect name, Scott. I've never seen someone just put name define. This guy just plays Coy. We haven't seen the manual blitz from him all game. Waits to do it on fourth down. Like he sends the blitzes at the perfect time. He is definitely out here playing Coy. What a nickname.
He's going to use his clock too, and smartly so. I let this thing run down. I'm surprised he snapped it.
Might start calling him the possum. He's playing Coy. He's playing possum. Hey, my guy Evan, Rain Day, Evan in the chat. What up, Evan?
Yeah, it's good to see Evan in the chat. What's going on, my man? We got some Apex tournaments coming up soon.
The Apex Legends.
We got one tomorrow.
John. Yeah, they crushed that
on
Apex
the channel
tournament. I watched some of that. That was they did a phenomenal job over there.
I'm too old for first-person shooters. I get worked.
We're good, Scott, until like we level. Like if we're in the placement matches, I feel like I can shine a little bit.
Sure.
But then once I get like matched up with someone that knows what they're doing, it's.
Once people start jumping off walls and using jetpacks, yeah, I'm done. I gotta move
Always
on.
got him.
To the end zone. DK Metcalf all the way down at the 2. Put your fours up in the chat.
Good click on right there by Coy, and I'll tell you what, Knockout had a chance to get to this ball, but he clicked on late. He's just been, a few frames off on a couple of plays that could have made a huge difference for him. And they say Madden's a game of football's a game of inches. So is Madden, but instead of inches, it's those frames. I feel like if he clicked on right away, he would have had that pick.
21 unanswered. Can he make it 28? The fridge in the Bears uni at Lambeau gets to the goal line. Second and go.
Sploose was fighting.
And it's Derrick Henry with a sneak. And it's getting ugly. This is going to make it 28 unanswered. Rolling is Coy.
Tell us that Knockout seems a little bit overhyped. That's my fault. Hand up. That's on me. I was hyped, Scott. He came out looking so strong. Like, it was crispy. It was super crispy.
It's been an impressive. I mean, he went 3 and out to start this game. Coy, 3 and out, had to punt it. And it's been all dub since then.
We gotta, if you get a chance to talk to Coy, Scott, before the next tournament, we gotta ask him: is the nickname part of his play? Like, does the nickname come from his play style? Because it's almost too perfect the way he was mixing in those blitzes.
He says his biggest achievement at Madden so far was qualifying for this tournament, and then qualifying for the grand finals. We're going to see him no matter what, as you mentioned. All 4 of the players you've seen tonight are in the grand finals on July 26th, representing the NFC. They want to win a little extra money tonight. Going deep, and that's going to be picked off. Westery, one of the favorites in Madden Ultimate Team. This is GG's. This is GG's in the chat.
Yeah, so look at him. He's even putting his ball carrier on conservatives to make sure he don't fumble. For those that don't know, there's a coaching adjustment that you can go to at the play call screen where you can do a variety of different adjustments. One of them is you can put the ball carrier on conservative, which is going to really decrease his chance to fumble, but it's going to eliminate your ability to do ball carrier special moves like jukes and spins, etc.
We got to ask Nitro how he's doing in the chat.
Nitro, check in.
Yeah, he had a lot of confidence. He's got crying emojis going on right now.
DJ says the dirty Knockout's making the Dirty Birds look bad. Flood City.
It was 7-0. We blinked.
And it wasn't just a regular 7-0, Scott. Like, Knockout, I'm telling you, he was lurking out there. The coverage was crispy. The offense was clicking. Like, I thought I was a believer.
Going to the air here on third down. And that'll move the chains. That'll take us to the 2-minute warning.
Now you're just putting on. Now you're just showing off.
I'm telling you, I think we're going to be in for a good game. A little Sharky, a little Coy.
It's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. A bunch of young bucks, too. Coy, 16 years old. Sharky, 16-year-old.
Yep. I was driving a 1982 pickup at the 7-Eleven having Slurpees. These guys are winning tournaments. As Cordell Patterson will try to turn the corner out to the 43. Here comes a 3rd and 6, and here comes some more time out the clock. There's the handoff to Cordell. 4th down. A little sportsmanship, punt it away.
Yeah, why not? Could have put the chew clock on.
28 unanswered points by Coy and the Bears. That pick 6. I think that there was 2 huge plays in this game, RG. The pick 6, and then the pass to the corner of the end zone for a knockout that he could not drag the toe.
Yeah, the out of bounds, that was big. Both of those plays were definitely huge.
Because that would have made it a 7-point game.
Definitely some missed opportunities by knockout in this one.
There's Bo Jackson. He'll get out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. 22 seconds to go. But there's not a 21-pointer out there. Just going to run out of time. But the good news is, RG, we will see knockout just 8 days from now in the grand final. He'll be representing these Falcons once again.
Hey, this game just got away from him. He showed, spurts of being a really good player. He just, it fell apart. So he's got some time to clean it up before, between now and that grand final bracket.
And they'll sack him up. William Perry doing it on both sides. And that's your final 28-7. Coy is the winner. Big time win for him. Big time comeback. Got down early, RG. Had to punt it on that first possession of the game. But he locked in and he showed us. Started mixing things up defensively, forcing some turnovers, making some points happen. And for knockout, he just faced a tidal wave.
Yeah, knockout, they said it in the chat. Knockout got KO'd. He came out strong and it fell apart. Here it is early in the game, Scott. You see, he's gonna take the 7-0 lead.
Yeah, he was 5 for 5. And then he threw 9 straight incompletions, including this interception to Ken Houston, the legend. He takes it in for a score. And Coy would not look back. A dippity bomb before the half, RG. A backbreaker.
Yeah, that was a mess right there. That was a total mess. You can't give that up.
And that would do it as Derrick Henry plummeted in for 6, 28-7, and that sets up our final here in the NFC. It's going to be Sharky taking on Coy. I think it's going to be a good one, RG.
This is good. This should be fireworks. This should be a close game all the way through. We got Sharky, who was the favorite as we came into this tournament. We knew he was labbing with Kong. We knew he came here to play. But now we got Coy, and you don't know what to expect from Coy. He's mad Coy. He's mad possum. You might think you got him, and then before you know it, he's adjusting. He's sending the house. He's showing phenomenal stick work. This should be a phenomenal final matchup, Scott, and I think it is a legit toss-up. I cannot wait to see who clutches up, who gets the glory, and who, further makes a name for themselves during this PlayStation tournament, Summer Scrimmage.
Anytime we have a Madden tournament, we have people out there saying, how do I get involved? You can go out to compete.playstation.com. Not only Madden, there's 2K, there's Apex, there's all kind of games that you can get involved out there on PlayStation 4 and 5. So make sure that you go out there and check it out once again at compete.playstation.com. We'll let you do that as we step away for a moment. When we come back, it's going to be Sharky and the Cowboys taking on Coy and the Bears in the NFC Final. back to another PlayStation tournament. We're in the final here at the Madden Summer Scrimmage here in the NFC. We're 8 days away from the grand final. We'll see the AFC and NFC face off. But RG, we got the favorite, Sharky, just 16 years old. Coy, living up to his name, only 16-year-old as well. We don't know much about him, but he's starting to make a name for himself after that comeback against Knockout. And remember, Sharky, it wasn't easy. He had a hell game. Had to kind of squeak by at the end, a little stop on a 2-point conversion to beat Jiggy.
I talked to Sharky, like I said, before the tournament, Scott. He says he's very familiar with all these players. He's played all of them. I wish I asked him how he matched up against Coy, because Coy looked pretty tough that last game after he turned it around. This is going to be good. I'm excited to see where the poll goes. I'm excited to see where the chat's head's at this, Scott, because I can't make up my mind.
Well, who do you guys think are going to win out there in the chat? I know a lot of people have been talking back and forth, and it's unanimous. They think the Shark Man is going to come out here and lay down the wood in this final game. I don't know. I don't see it 100%. I'm not saying it is a zero-sum thing. You either win or you lose. But 100%?
We had to have ended that prematurely. There's got to be a hiccup, right? I mean, after what we just saw from Coy, or this could just be Coy's style. He plays it Coy. Everybody sleeps on him. You don't know much about him, and then before you know it, he's sending the house getting user picks to the crib.
Nitro's going with Coy now. I don't know. Shockwave's going with Coy. You see, got some people out there that we're trying to convince. I think this is going to be a good one, though. Just from the adjustments that we saw, the grittiness that we saw in these first two semifinals, and they're getting ready to face off here to see who's going to be the champion of the NFC. As we mentioned, all four players that you saw tonight will be in the grand final representing the NFC, but they're going to have to face the other four winners from the AFC, and that's on July 26th. That's just 8 days from now. So a little bit of momentum, right? You'll win this, RG. You're starting to feel pretty good. Starting to think that maybe you can make a run for the big guap next week.
Totally. And we said it. Kong has already made his run over there, securing the AFC. Their whole plan was for Sharky to handle business and take care of the NFC as the number one seed, get that $400. And, Sharky one game away from being able to show, his boy Kong that the lab work was worth it and they accomplished their goal. And anytime you can accomplish a goal, it's a great feeling. One thing I'll say, Scott, I don't understand how Sharky did get 100% of the poll, because I got my guy Shockway. They're picking Coy in the chat. Where were you guys during the poll? He could have used your support.
They maybe went to make a ham sandwich while we were at break. They missed out on the vote. It's going to be Coy starting with it first. Remember, this is how he started the last game. Went 3 and out. So you need to come out here with a little more fruitful possession.
This dude, D2B's a savage. He said, I'm boys with Coy, but Sharky's probably finna win. What type of support is that for the homie? I guess maybe he's just keeping it realistic, but man, no faith.
Henry will hand it off to Cordell Patterson, and he'll be pushed forward for a gain of 3. We've had some good fun tonight. We've seen some good Madden. Bunch formation. Johnson will motion out. Hendricks gets caught up in the line. There's got to be somebody open. And he throws a... Oh, got away with one.
You got to take advantage of that of your Coy, but we know he's a slow starter on these first drives. But you get your opponent's user just stuck in no man's land, not lurking anywhere on the field. You usually got to convert that for a big play and capitalize on it. Coy not able to do that. Big break for Sharky.
3rd and 7. Looking, swings it outside. That'll move the chains.
Push the dot.
Threw it right on a laser to DK Metcalf. And already an improvement over the start he had.
Is he touching DK Metcalf in fantasy football this year?
Oh, boy, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I think I got to stay.
Who's throwing him the football?
That's what I'm saying.
And Metcalf again.
Let me know in the chat. Y'all drafting DK in the first two. What is he? Top 3 rounds.
He's got to be late, man. Drew Lock, come on, man.
Are you staying away from DK in fantasy football? I need to know.
Here's Henry on 1st and 10. Throws it away. Smartly done.
Yeah, it was good play all around. Really good defense from Sharkey, and then good job by Coy to recognize it's good defense and just throw that ball away, not force anything down the field.
Another shotgun in the bunch. And this time he's going to be sacked up. Well, he had somebody open on the cover, too, on the left side. It would have been tight. And here comes the heat again. Gets rid of it. The Gronk, he dropped it.
Oh, fortunate drop right there for Sharkey. I don't like the user blitz on 3rd and long right there. No user in the middle of the field. Coy should have had a completed pass right there, but Gronk not able to hold on to it.
Force the punt. And this is a great one. Fantastic. Out of bounds at the 3. I'm not used to seeing people in their teens making good punts.
Nelly knows, right? Madden players.
That's an old head. Quick. That's an old head move.
My guy Nelly Nell, Coltrane, he's staying away from DK this year in fantasy football.
Smartly so.
I had to ask. I know it's not on top, but DK was catching passes, and I had him in a lot of leagues last year. I've been wrestling with that, so the chat knows all. When you can get a piece of the chat, you got to go for it sometimes.
They are undefeated.
They're undefeated.
Bunch in the shadow of the end zone. Derek Carr. That's easy, does it. Playmaking Jerry Rice out to the 25. Quick gain of 22.
Remember that Jerry Rice has that playmaker ability, only 2 AP, gets it for a discount, a pretty good discount at that.
And now Cordell Patterson off to the races. Can Talib finally chase them down and push them out at the 31 after he gains 44 yards.
He's moving up the field in a hurry, Scott. He was just backed up into his own end zone 2 plays later. Now on Coy's 31-yard line. If you're Coy, but we know this is how Coy plays defense, Scott. He makes you think you're comfortable, you're moving the ball, you're having non-issues, and then before you know it, he's sending the goons.
Oh, he tried to swerve him, and he got picked off, but he couldn't put his feet in bounds.
See, super Coyish. Vintage Coy right there if he held on to the pick.
There's no reason to throw that. Dub City, yeah. Scott Cole and RG hanging out with you. Old school.
So
Carb. Looking. Makes a ham sandwich and then gives it to Devontae Adams, who makes a man miss inside to the 14.
Where did Adams come from? I don't. All of a sudden, there's just a receiver running butt naked in the middle of the field. I have no idea where he came from.
Little playmaker right across the middle of Adams. Huge gain. He's gashing Coy here on this opening drive. To the end zone. Touchdown, Sharkey.
Good drive right there by Sharkey. And that Devontae Adams put on work right there. Had that route tech. Gets open on the post route. Great read. Look at the team celebration, huh? Look at that Coltrane.
Boy,
kicking the legs up. They're like, what do they call them in Vegas when they're kicking their legs like that? I forget.
Are you talking me? You're thinking more like the Rockettes.
The Rockettes. Yeah, that was super Rocketty.
So 6-0. You get the stop, and then you put together a big drive. He's going for 2.
Why? What is this?
This is like a skimbo kind of move.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's going to the air. And it's Walter.
Just the play fake to Vita Vea just never gets old. Looks phenomenal. Anytime you can do a play fake to like a 300-pound plus lineman, I mean, why not? It's not like there's cash on the line or anything.
And here's the fridge out to the 27, and now for Coy, all of a sudden. Oh boy, I feel like it's must-score time.
Yeah, but this is what I'm not falling for it. This is what happened with Coy last time. He came out, he looked super suspect. It was falling apart. It was looking grim, and then the next thing you know, he's like the greatest Madden player you've seen.
Turbo blitz leads to a long pass to Gronk.
Yeah, there he goes. Here goes Coy. I'm not falling for it again, Coy. Nice.
Well, he needs to get some speed out on the field. No disrespect to Gronk. But if he's going to turbo blitz and get caught up in the line, you got to have somebody go deep.
That's a nice catch by Gronk. Go up, high point that thing. I like it.
Metcalf in motion. Henry.
Got him.
To the end zone. He dropped it.
That's that deep route KO right there. I told you about that earlier in the tournament, Scott, that Sharky does run 5 deep route KOs on defense, and if he's in man coverage and his defenders get their hand on you at the point of contact with the ball, they're going to have a super high chance to knock the ball out, right? And that's exactly what happened right there for Sharky. That's good ability work by Sharky.
Yeah, that should have been 6.
Yeah, without
but
that
instead it's second
KO.
and 10, and Superman to the 13.
Good response by Coy. Good response by Coy. Once they do that stretch out diving animation like it, Scott, it's tough to interact with them and knock it out.
Waller in the red zone now. Looking, a little wheel route. Hauls it in for the score. Don't chase the points, and he's not going to do it.
Patterson holds on to one time.
10 plays, 9 of them through the air. Here on these first 2 drives, and we got a 1-point game.
What a snag right there by Patterson. Probably a medium throw. The deep route KO is not able to kick in on that one. I mean, that was huge by Coy. And I told you, I wasn't falling for it, Scott. Coy, it take the first possessions are throwaway for Coy. Now is when the game really starts for him. Let's see what he does on defense. Is he going to mix in that blitz like we saw him do last game?
Puts the bunts on the left side here on 1st and 10. Little playmaker back to the GOAT. That's Jerry Rice.
That's Jerry Rice playmaker ability. What it allows you to do is as soon as you use the playmaker mechanic with the right stick on a receiver with that ability, they react to it immediately. Usually there's a delay on that mechanic, but with the ability, it's going to be instant. And that's what we're seeing right there from Sharky with that Jerry Rice playmaker. And he has worked it into his game plan very, very well. He makes sure that he's his shortest receiver, so when he does playmaker, Rice is going to be the one, and we've seen him use that very effectively tonight.
He's going to take off for Derek Carr. That's that golden ticket car to the 45. I saw on my timeline, RG, people talking about, is Jerry Rice a top 5 wide receiver of all time? He's a top 5 football player of all time. Forget wide receiver.
That's funny.
I mean, he's got all the records and then some in an era where they could about rip your head off.
Yeah, longevity too. I mean, he was even good. He was good on the Raiders. I mean, the Seahawks. We don't talk about that.
Well, he's got a little theme team going here. Got a little Raiders theme team. Got Waller, got Rice, Adams, Carr.
What would you say? The 3 best: Rice, Moss, and Calvin are the best we've seen. I'm not saying in any particular order, but that's like those are the 3, right?
That's pretty good. Yeah, that would be a pretty good wide receiving core in the bunch.
Who do you got in the chat? 3 best wide receivers all time, no particular order.
First and 10.
That's it. It's Moss, Calvin, Jerry.
Yeah, best deep route runner ever is Moss. Best route runner ever is probably Rice. And Calvin was just a freak. Cross midfield to the 44. It's going to bring up 2nd and 8. Carr.
Good defense. It's really
looking nothing.
That's really good defense, Scott. Anytime you go up against a tight formation and they got those double deep crossers going across the field, it's really hard to stop, especially when they have time. Coy had his defenders all over it. They took away the underneath flats, and they were all over those deep crosses. That was great defense right there by Coy. If I had that defense in Madden 05, you might be looking at a Madden, speaking to a Madden champ.
Oh, it's picked. Ken Houston takes it away. And now he's in business.
Is this deja vu, Scott? Coy lets up a touchdown first drive, second drive, forces an interception with Ken Houston. I feel like we've seen this before.
J801, he wants to put Terrell Owens out there. I mean, King.
No,
I mean, the stats are out there for T.O.
See, we got a lot of Moss, Randy, and Calvin. That's got to be it.
2nd and 22 now. That's a big loss on first down after the INT. Henry once again. Oh, a little one-on-one. Oh, it throws it back across, and that's Andre Johnson.
A lot of plays are just breaking down, Scott, right? It's like a lot of just like wait for the receivers to get into get open mode and make a read from there. Like it's a lot of like fourth window type stuff. I mean, these plays are really breaking down.
You got to have Steve Largent out there as well, who had the record for the long time since Jerry broke it. 1st and 10. It's a big possession. Even 3 here.
3's huge here.
Remember, Sharky's going to get the ball to start the second half. Got to put that feather in your cap. Brandon Marshall on the outside. He'll push him out of bounds at the 29. He's in field goal range.
Coy might be the greatest. After the first possessions of the game, Coy is like a 95 OVR player. Before the first possessions of the game, he's like a 75 OVR.
Henry, here comes a turbo blitz. He misses him, but a great click off. And a little Conor McGregor on 2nd and 17.
Honestly, I thought Coy was about the way he like avoided the user rush. If he had dunked it down to that crosser, I would have just been sold. I would have went and subbed to his Twitch channel. That was a good mix-up by Sharky, though. Good user blitz.
Runs it all the way down, calls timeout, and it's going to be a deep one. 53-yard field goal, but hey, it's Justin Tucker. Let's head to the virtual locker room. It's Coy up 2. Turns the INT into points. And now here comes a huge possession to start the third quarter. Dr. Shockwave thinks Derek Jeter should be on the top wide receivers of all time.
You got a documentary coming out or something soon? I thought they were doing like a Last Dance style version. Something with Jeter. I'm a Red Sox guy, so I'm not too excited.
I was waiting on that. Carr underneath the Gronk. You're going to mark him down at the 30, forward progress, 2nd and 5.
See what you got, Sharky. 16 years old. You know, that was a rough first half. He made some mistakes. Let's see if, he's shown a level of maturity earlier where he was able to fight through adversity and really turn the game around. Let's see if he can do it again.
Here's Carr. Looking. There's the playmaker, but he decides to go deep to Metcalf. Swerving him along the boundary to the 26.
That was super poisy, Scott. I was right there with you. I thought he was going to check down to that underneath playmaker. Ends up waiting, goes deep, does the swerve catch, which allows him to get his feet in bounds. That was just Very nice play right there by Sharkey. Good read, good stick work. Scramble.
We're trying to bait him, but no, it's Gronk that's wide open. Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling to the 6. Big fella to bring down.
I will say some of these younger guys could work on their scrambling with the quarterback. Some of the best players we've seen, Scott, like the Problems of the world, the Kivs, these guys, they always knew when to scramble with their quarterback and take their yards with their quarterback and do it at an elite level. And you just don't see that as much from the young Bucks. They're scared to take. No one wants to take 7 yards with their quarterback and slide.
William Perry just fell forward for 5 yards. He got hit in the backfield and somehow made it to the 1. Second and goal.
Look at this backfield. Vita Vey and William Perry.
Oh, the big fella. Yeah, you know, you just got you a 700-pound backfield.
If you're a linebacker in that situation, you're like, come on,
going for
man.
2 here, RG.
Why not?
And Villavail won't get there. You're 16 years old. You got to know the math, right? You kick the extra point. Even if you give up a touchdown, it's a 2-point game with you a chance to take it down, just needing a field goal to win.
Yeah, there it is. School them, Coltrane. School them.
I've seen too many players lose. He's feeling confident, though. Here's Coy's chance. 2:03 to go here in the third. That's our final in the NFC. We have our grand finals next week on the 26th of July. Turbo Blitz!
Sharkey has got this user rush down pat right now. I mean, we've seen him get caught in his defensive line a couple times earlier in the game, but the last 2-3 times he's manually rushed, he's been right in there almost instantly.
Oh, and Metcalf makes a man miss. Can Mike Evans catch him? No, it's Ed Too Tall Jones that lowers the helmet at the 17. Big gain.
What a ball game.
Henry. People in the chat say we're body shaming. No. These guys are our brothers. We're the big sploose guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are our idols we're talking about. We're not shaming them.
Yeah. If anybody's huge fans of the Vita Vey, William Perry backfield, I guarantee you it's me and the Coltrane.
That's us. 2nd and 4. Henry. Looking. No, sacked up.
That's good defense. That's good defense. I liked what Coy did the play before, where he just threw the crosser quick, not letting it develop to the sideline. These guys got a lot of coverage over there by the sidelines. Curl flats, hard flats. Finding those windows in the middle of the field is where you're going to have some of the openings. Didn't take advantage of that time for Coy, and now 3rd and 14.
Put your 4s up. Headed to the 4th quarter. 4 minutes remaining in a 4-point game. He's been sacked 5 times tonight.
Probably 2 or 3 of them are manual rushes.
Yep. Wide open, it's DK!
Coy is super poisy, man. And that's the risk with that manual rush, Scott. You don't get in there instantly. You have no user deep down the field, in the middle of the field, and beautiful dot right there by Coy. This is just a great ball game. Both of these guys, I'm a fan. Coy and Sharkey on my radar in Madden 23. It's official. They have made names for themselves in the PlayStation Summer Showcase.
I love the people that come in and are so mad about Derrick Henry being a quarterback. But it's okay in Fortnite to jump out of buses.
It's
wearing
jarring.
funny costumes. It's Madden Ultimate Team. It's a fantasy.
If you're not used to the Ultimate Team, those swag, Scott, it can throw you off a little bit. It could throw you off a little bit.
Derek Carr to Jerry Rice. He's got some wheels.
Well, we would be calling
the clock's going to keep moving.
I remember we would be calling these games on ESPN, and they would be an Ultimate Team or Mud Draft. And I must have explained to my dad 8 separate times, no, these aren't the real teams, Dad. And he would always forget, and I'd always have to remind him, and it was it became a thing. And a lot of people just don't get it. They're not used to seeing that type of thing.
I can tell you that this mode, there's not a lot of simulation going on in this mode. It's because Jerry Rice is 70 years old.
I'll tell you what is simulation. Doing whatever you need to do to try to win the ball.
Sure, trying to get that money.
Yeah,
wide open is Metcalf. Oh, he dove for it, couldn't catch up. And Fortnite is a simulation. You don't know the future.
Where are you dropping, Coltrane? Where you dropping?
To the 35. I'm not giving up my secrets. 2 16-year-olds battling it out. RG and I having the time of our lives as we come up on the 2-minute warning. Gonna have one more snap. They hand it off to the fridge. Works his way to the 30. He's got overtime in his back pocket now, RG.
Let us know in the chat, what do you think at the 2-minute warning? Give me a 1, Sharky scores a touchdown. Give me a 2, Sharky ties it up with a field goal. Give me a 3, Sharky buckles and turns it over.
1, 2, or 3.
1 touchdown, 2 field goal, 3 bucklage.
William Perry again. He tackles his own self. Who can stop William Perry? William Perry. 3rd and 3. Ball at the 28-yard line. Time ticking away. Scrambling with Carr. Here comes the blitz. Now we got 4th down. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Field goal. Is he going for this? No. Savage rating?
But see, he should have 15 points here. He should be kicking a field goal for the lead. Instead, he's going for it on 4th and 3.
You said it, Coltrane, just like you said. Here we go. Summer scrimmage on the line.
He's going to run this whole play. No, he throws it low, and it's picked off.
There's room, Scott. There's room.
Talib like a loaf of bread. Nearly got away.
Oh, no.
Upset in the making, RG.
Oh, no, Sharky. The pick was bad, and then the giving him the room to run and get it deep into the other territory is even bigger.
The Deion Sanders running animation will never get old. That was Talib with a huge pick. And now he's going to William Perry. Timeout, Sharky.
Wants those timeouts. I don't think you run it 3 straight downs here, though. If you're core, you got to cook up a dot and just try to end this game.
Yeah, 1st down would be everything.
Nitro was all over it. He put the 3
in
the... Nitro had the 3 in the chat, Scott. He was calling for the bucklage.
He's been riding with Coy since before the game started.
Nitro was all over it.
3rd and 15. I don't like these running plays. I like the scrambling, maybe rolling out, sliding down if you have to. But you knew you needed a 1st down here.
Watch the rollout corner to the left.
He turbo blitzes again. It's picked up, and he can't throw it. Oh, my goodness. It's not over yet.
Here we go. This is where legends are made, Sharky.
And he punts it away. Remember, he had a beauty last time out, and this was another great one. But it goes out of bounds at the 14. Thought it was going to be a little deeper than that. 1:03 to go. No timeouts. Trails by 3.
My guy, Adrian Gomez from San Jose, California, 16 years old. A minute left with a chance for the glory.
Oh, that's going to be a safety. That's a safety, RG.
Ball game. Ball game.
GG's in the chat. Coy forces The intentional grounding in the end zone, which equals a safety.
Oh, my goodness.
You fall down. You fall down.
Go down. Coy's a legend. I wish he changed his name to the Coy Possum. Young Possum would be a sick name, huh? Your name would be ringing in the streets. You just keep bursting on the Madden scene as Young Possum.
Couple crazy things. I thought going for two I liked going for two the first time because you can always make up the points. The second time, bit him. It just did.
You were all over it, Coltrane. It is exactly like you said it was going to be. The field goal would have been a no-brainer. Take the points, take the lead. Instead, went for it on fourth down, threw the pick. Coy, I mean, whew, hats off to him. Hats off to the young 16-year-old from Michigan. You got to pay homage to my guy Coy.
Got down twice. It didn't matter. Back-to-back games. Battles back. And a safety. I've seen so many games of Madden, RG. You and I have called thousands of games over the last 7 years competitively. And I tell you, I've never seen one end like that. A chance, you had life again. Safety.
You know what? I can't recall the throwaway safety. I can't recall. The last one I remember is when the Patriots did it in the Giants, our first possession. And that was real. That was NFL. That wasn't Madden. I can't recall it. That was insane. What a ball game. What a ball game.
Let's take a look at these highlights. I'm telling you, Sharky came out here on fire. He's throwing lasers out there. Ends up going for two, RG, on this little pass to Waller. And he's got Raiders everywhere. But look at Coy just battling back. Little Gronk. And I think this is the crazy wheel route catch. That was nuts.
That was nuts. If there's something we learned from Coy, Scott, he doesn't get cooking until after each team's had a possession, and then you see the real Coy.
Yeah, if he could come out and score early, I thought the game was over right here. Nope. Metcalf would haul it in. 3-point game. But the low throw, when you got the OT in your back pocket, huge return by Talib. But Sharky would, you remember, he would come in, he would stop that. At the safety at the end, it's Coy with the upset. Wow, RG.
What a ball game. And you know what? Like I said, a big part of this summer scrimmage and this awesome event from PlayStation is to give these guys a chance to compete, give them a chance to win money, give them a chance to gain experience, and get their names out there. And I think both Sharky and Coy were able to accomplish all of that. These guys got some buzz around them. They're on both of our radars. They both get to walk away with some money. And you know what? Coy, I mean, I cannot wait to see what he does in the finals. And I can't wait to see how Sharky bounces back. You know he's going to hit the lab with Kong. It's going to be interesting to see what they cook up. And, you know, they still have a chance to meet their goals and maybe match up in the finals. It depends on, I guess, how the bracket ends up working out there.
Well, if you enjoyed a little bit of Madden tonight, we got Apex. Little double dip of Apex. We come back tomorrow, in fact. Wake up early with us if you're out on the West Coast. If you're on the East Coast, you're just chilling, watching some Apex. I mentioned we have a grand final on July 26th. NFC versus AFC. 8 of the best that we've had here on PlayStation. And we're back again for the grand final of Apex on July 28th. And hey, you're wondering how you can get involved out there. You're saying, man, these look great. Apex, Madden. There's tons more games out there for you to compete in. All you got to do is head out there to compete.playstation.com. As I mentioned, it's not only Madden, it's not only Apex. I mean, we got a lot of tournaments going on out there for PlayStation. A great thing that they do to allow you to be able to compete, win prizes, win money, be able to move forward. It's a great way to get started in your esports career, to get out and get some competition. Final words from URG. We saw some really good games.
No, awesome game. Shout out to all the competitors. And I think I just want to touch on what you just said, Scott. Shout out to PlayStation putting on these tournaments for a variety of different games, for a variety of different players. I know when I was young and I was, coming up, video games were my outlet to stay out of trouble and to stay productive and, to set goals for myself and win. And I was always on the lookout for opportunities in tournaments to kind of harness those skills. And every opportunity I had kind of shaped the path that I took to become, a pro Madden gamer at one point, to be able to work on the EA development team. So it all starts with those little things, and PlayStation coming out and doing these competitions and giving these guys the opportunities is something I'm just a huge fan of. I cannot wait to see more of it. Hopefully it continues this year and beyond, especially for Madden. That's where my personal passion is. And yeah, I can't wait to see these players, man, in the final. Like I said, if you can get on our radar, you're doing something right. And guys like Jiggy, Koi, Kong, Sharky, I mean, these guys are on our radar now, Coltrane, and they're making steps in the right direction, to progress their gaming careers or progress their hobby and turn it into something profitable and meaningful and productive. So it's just awesome to be a part of, and it was good being back in the saddle with you two.
Yeah, it's like old times, man.
It's just like old times. So shout out to you, shout out to PlayStation, and shout out to the competitors and everybody in the chat for interacting with us. The chat actually made this. This was already a lot of fun. They made it even more fun with their interaction. So just
shout out to the chat. All around. Definitely, everybody behind the scenes. We'll be back on the 26th for the grand final. More right here from PlayStation. Wow.
Here we go. Here we go. This is where legends are made, Shock.